he's coming down. Let me try and scan one more. Can you do the same thing?
They call me Pounds, here I'm known as 978 Customs create, plus I rhyme. Great. YouTube, welcome back to another 978 Customs video. And today we got Anti-Venom Spider-Man on the 12-inch Marvel Legends Spider-Man. My second custom on the 12-inch body. Pardon the lighting, I'm trying to just get it as bright as I can without overexposing the picture because it's an all-white spider in front of an all-white background and it just doesn't look good. So I'm just going to turn it down all the way just so you guys can see the spider better. But I was happy to make this. I made this before actually on a 6-inch Marvel Legends maybe like a year or 2 years ago when I first started customizing. The design was amazing. I think it's a concept art created by someone. I don't know who, so I'm sorry. I do have the reference shot and I can show you that really quick. This is the only picture I have. In fact, it may be the only picture that exists of this design. There's not really too much to see, so you got to improvise as much as you can. The main difference between this and the reference shots are there's no cobwebs on the figure. Better for me, saved me some time. This actually was commissioned by someone. He wanted a 12-inch Anti-Venom Spider-Man. And at first I was kind of hesitant because I was nervous. I didn't know if I'd be able to pull it off. I did say yes. And he was excited, but at the same time, I was nervous because, again, I just didn't want to ruin it. People have been asking me to make a future Foundation Spider-Man, and I've avoided that just because of the white. But I think I'm going to give it a shot after making this. I am overall pleased with how it came out. But you guys let me know. Here's the backside. Doesn't have a logo. Decided to wrap one of the bands to the shoulder. Well, to the butterfly, then the shoulder joint. Well, last time they both wrapped around his back entirely. And if you're wondering why he didn't have a spider in the back, I'm not sure if he does. And I've never been the type to assume, so I didn't. Here's a better view. You can see a closer look. It has a kind of a glossy finish. I didn't matte this one out. Kind of gave him a semi-gloss because he's in the symbiote mode. And I just figured it would look better this way. I don't know. It feels good, too, in the hand. It just feels very smooth. Smooth as eggs. No, it feels good though. But I think it doesn't look bad. You know me, I always point out a flaw, and my flaw is it doesn't have a logo in the back. Personally, I should have went the extra mile. With all that said, let's get into the accessories. You see, it doesn't come with much, just basically what the 12-inch comes with, and that's interchangeable hands. Painted these just like the reverse symbiote, where in the reference shot they were a little different because they had webs that went up and faded from black to white. So I did these just different, just to kind of resemble the symbiote basically. But I said that already, didn't I? Yes, I did. And I have this alternate Peter Parker head that would look pretty cool with it. Might as well have it on there. Why not, right? There's not too many heads that we have that fit this body, so you might as well have a Peter Parker head. And it does fit like so. Obviously, if you have a 12-inch figure. By the way, this was a classic blue and red Spider-Man 12-inch Marvel Legend before it was this. So if you want to make one of these, just get yourself a Spider-Man or a black suit. It'd be a little more difficult to go white over black, but you can get it done. I think these heads, or this head in particular, is a little big for this body. I've always thought that. Black Panther, I just got the Black Panther 12-inch, and that head is sized nicely. It fits well on that body, but this for some reason just looks a little eggy, a little big. I said eggy again, but his head looks big.
Oh, like what the hell? He got like a big head, like a small booty. Like what a, like a some booty hit you in the face, big boy, with 2 chopsticks up your ass.
I love Honest Pranks. Probably one of my favorite YouTube channels. Hope he doesn't get mad. But this is what I mean. Black Panther, his head seems to be shorter and rounder, or just more proportionate for this body, so I like it. It doesn't look like Chadwick Boseman to me. A bit, but not so much. Here's Black Panther in comparison to Anti-Spider-Man. And real quick, shout out to Dill, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have got this for $0. That was a whack rhyme. But no, I got it from Target for $20 using the Cartwheel app. And that was a steal, so I walked away like I robbed a bank. I thought the cops, security, were going to follow me out like, hey! So shout out to that good brother, Dog Reviews, for telling the community about the deals going on at Target. Oh, wanted to compare it to the 6-inch Noir I just recently got. Also, shout out to Do for that. We made a cool trade. I'm happy to get that one. But yes, this is a 12-inch in comparison to a 6-inch. Like your average Marvel Legends, your head can move up and down, left and right. Your arms do go up, they do go down. This butterfly joint works as well. Swivels here. You get the elbows. I did get in there as best as I could. Again, it's tough to get white. It's kind of scary. The wrists swivel and hinge. You get this diaphragm joint. Oh, excuse me, blocking the camera. But it does spin. That was pointless, wasn't it? Get out of the way. But it does go down as well, and it goes up, and the spider is painted all the way. You get the crunch. Crunches up. You won't scratch the belly, so you can crunch it. It does go pretty far. So the articulation on this thing is pretty nice, I gotta say. There's a few things that I don't like about the blue and red 12-inch. The hips don't really spread out too far, but you can get them in some cool poses if you really wanted to. And I remember the first time I got one of these, I was playing with it like crazy, just putting them in mad poses and hanging them off the bedpost and on the ceiling and just off a bunch of things. But what it lacked was that hip range, which they fixed with the 12-inch black suit, by the way. So it's not that much of a problem. Wow, am I rambling tonight? I'm tired. But here's a closer shot. I think this is why I wanted to leave it glossed out. It just really pops. The reflectiveness on it looks pretty cool, and it doesn't really reflect too much light. I left the eyes pearlescent factory paint because I figured it would pop against the white that I was going to use, so it just wouldn't be too much white. The only flaw on this figure, one of the main flaws anyway, is this hip crunch. Legs go up pretty high, but the hip crunch is not there. For a Spider-Man figure, that's intolerable. But the thighs does spin. It's a little gappy, and I don't know if that was me or if it was like that. But I'll take that. It might have been me sanding it down too much. This figure is so white that it picks up any dirt that gets on it, and there is some black dirt here, and it's frustrating me because I notice it immediately, and I want to get it off. Whoa, there's more dirt. You see, this is why I like to wear gloves, because sometimes I don't know my hands. I have a 5-year-old son. Well, he's gonna be 5, and every day, from chicken nuggets to sweet and sour sauce to spaghettis to all kinds of things, rice and beans, I go back and I touch the figure. I go back to what I'm working on, and it's tough. So I usually wear gloves all the time. But this is something I could just wipe off immediately. This was after the figure was sealed. So let me get a baby wipe and wipe this off because it's really bothering me. So I'd rather wear gloves just to not make any prints or smudges on the figure that I don't want to make, especially on this white one. But it looks like I can take this off really quick, so it's not a big deal. But I want to do it on camera and not hide it from you guys, because it was a mistake. I don't even know. It's ugly as heck. You see that it does wipe off pretty easy. Yes. But you get double jointed knees, and they do function pretty well. You get some good range with it. Just like your standard Marvel Legend, 6-inch. A little choppy in there. I just had to make sure that it was not going to be loose and it would still hold the paint. So it's a happy medium I had to find. Because again, there's a lot of moving parts here. There's more moving parts than your average Legend. So you get the ankles, the hinge, the swivel, and you know the swivel works fine. And then you get this toe articulation. That was kind of scary because I didn't want it to be too loose from sanding it too much. But I think it's pretty nice because it's still pretty tight and you can move it. So posing this thing is really fun, but taking pictures of it isn't that fun at all. Or maybe it is, but it's not for me because the white background is not doing this figure justice at all. Because I don't know what's the right lighting for it. I just can't find it. I've been doing rotations on this light for about a few seconds now, and I just can't find it. So maybe it's just the background, but I don't know. Overall, I am happy with this figure. and I hope he is too, because it was a difficult thing to do. It didn't take me too long. Just, you know, you had to be careful with white, and this thing had to take it completely apart. If you want, actually, here's some reference shots. As usual, I start off with the head, and I was kind of okay with it, so I decided to move on and took the body completely apart, minus the pins. I left the pins in, and then I put most of it back together once I knew you can move it without rubbing it. And around that same time, I was making Anti-Spiderman, so I was going through a lot of white paint. This actually took me about 2 whole jars, maybe 2.5. So I continued on, started the logo, wanted to make sure it lined up. And this is when it was finished, finally getting a prototype picture, or just a finalized picture or something, just to see what it looked like under cool lighting. And that is the promo shot, the thumbnail. So I am happy with this, guys. I hope you are too. No more 12-inch customs, because I don't really want to make 12-inch Legends. They're a hassle, but they are pretty cool to have in your hand. But I will make it, I guess. I don't know. Who knows? If you guys like this video and you want to see more Spider-Man customs, let me know what you think about this one in the comments below. Feel free to like, subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, I appreciate it. I haven't been so responsive in the last few videos. I've been just working, and my son's having his birthday next week, so I apologize for that. But I will be back soon, and thank you guys for showing me love like you usually do, and I'll see you in the next video.
You choose it. This future foundation is built big time from the viewer conversations. New creations, channel collaborations, how-tos and tutorials, working with no vacations. Just check the notification and watch for the new vid, and be the first to write first. Who won? You did.